TransMedics is very quickly becoming the leader in a niche market of legal human organ delivery. In fact, when patients are in need of an organ transplant, it's TransMedics' system, which they protected with patents, that's going to get them safely and as timely as possible. Its revenue increased 38% year over year, and its operating cash flow quadrupled annually, which seems to suggest that it's far ahead of schedule in its goals of delivering 10,000 human organs by the year fiscal 2028. What does this mean for TransMedics' investors? Well, we addressed that question on our most recent 7 Investing subscriber call, which we're providing free of charge here on YouTube. But if you'd like to see all of our coverage of TransMedics, check out 7investing.com/TMDX. TransMedics, right? Organ delivery. When patients die and then they have agreed to donate their organs, then TransMedics is becoming more and more the most efficient way to do that, to preserve the liver, to preserve the lungs and the heart, so they can be transplanted to patients that need them. Back in January, we had noted that the stock had fallen due to some quarterly headwinds. They didn't really kind of do a good job of communicating to the street a lot of their quarterly expenses, especially related to the aviation hubs and the aircraft that they were purchasing at the time. But they still said, hey, we're on path to deliver 10,000 organs by the year 2028. I did some calculations based upon that from an investment perspective that said I think the stock could be worth $120 by the year 2028, which would the equivalent of a 66% total return over 4 years. This is why it was a best buy for several months in a row at the beginning of the year. Because they exceeded those expectations. Revenue is growing faster than I thought. Look at this. The revenue run rate of 38% year over year is phenomenal by itself, but operating expenses actually only increased 6% year over year, and it's causing operating cash flow to quadruple. A lot of that is because the early investments that TransMedics was innovative enough to recognize that it needed in terms of the investments in aircraft and the aviation facilities and the personnel and the pilots and the people to man and staff and train. It's paying off now that it's hitting economies of scale. You can see the margins expanding. Operating margin has expanded from 10.9% a year ago to 23.2% today. This is a price inelastic market. If you need a new liver, and one is available, it's not something you're going to haggle over pricing with. You're going to get it as quickly and efficiently and reliably as you can, and TransMedics has shown to be the most efficient way to do that. The only concern is that a large portion of this is reimbursed by insurance or by the government, which does like to haggle over pricing for things like this, and TransMedics' $84,000 price point is seen by many as being too expensive. Even though it is just fine right now, there might be concessions on pricing in the future. But look at this, when you see that kind of revenue growth, $50 million over a 4-quarter period, and actually only a $3 million increase in operating expenses, that's scalability. That's exactly what you want to see for an investment. I'm keeping TransMedics as a buy for the time being.